Okay, uh, so let's start. Today we are going to continue to learning our web development, right? And
Yeah,
last couple of classes we have learned basic. In the started classes, you can say we learn basic how to create the login form and how can we also create the two you can say URL slash means ki if our application run and someone say ki let's start, so by default let's say ki always your login page should be so our login page so, and after that we say hey, user type some maybe username and password I want to validate, so validation done on the server side. So I created one post mapping. Hey, from the login form we say hey submit, and we are validating username password like admin, then success page, and then failure page. Yesterday we create the three page login form and success form and failure form, depend upon the conditions we are displaying, right?
right.
So let's start and look the some observation, because in the development lots of things we have to depend upon the user case what you want, we have to slowly going to add on, right?
Right, right.
So now my application should be start. Yeah, started. So let's go and say hey, uh, already we have a port, I think it started change the port, right?
Uh,
Application or property file, yes, we change the port 909, right? So we have to not the 808, we have to change the port, you can say 909. Okay,
right,
localhost 9. So this is our login form created. And if you want to this page here is loaded. Why? Because sequence. Here I hit this and not passing any URL. That means by default our controller have a one already request mapping slash. Slash means this request come here and this message you get, and we say hey load login form HTML. In the if you note the response here, notice this login form call, right?
right, right, right.
And we can say hey load this login from HTML. That means this HTML file, all the HTML file under the resource folder. So see login from HTML, this was the loaded. Okay, and whatever here written here, simple we written this is a style. Here written one form, notice I'm talking about the form have a multiple attribute. This form you can read out the detail about this. Hey Google, about HTML form, about about HTML form. Okay, you can read out a more detail what this HTML form is, right?
Hmm.
So here, because why need a something different? Simple need this one. So here, simple say form is here. I want uh, this form contain two field, one username and password, and one button submit. Okay, so due to that we created one basic form, and form have this like username password and submit button, right? And something anything, the form tag contain form start, and in here you can write the any HTML link maybe. Okay, and lots of maybe you can write here input type text radio button, anything you can do. So in this here in this form section you can write maybe input type text. Here you notice written we return the input type text password and submit button. Three
Right.
field we have to, three element we created. Here notice syntax, form contains some elements. So what are the possible element? Possible element text, radio, checkbox, submit button, and simple button as well as. So here I am using the submit button so that you submit the form complete, right?
Hmm.
And here all the details mentioned like here form something. And if you read different form, whatever the attributes means here what we can pass here. Form content, these are attribute, action, name, right?
Okay, okay. This is an attribute. Okay.
Yeah, notice here form can be action, right? Means here say this code say whenever I am submit this button, go open this HTML file, right? So lots
Hmm.
of attribute can be here. And here attribute may be method like a post, right? Method can be get. The here say mention method. Method is attribute. action is the attribute. So these two things we are also using, like here. Notice the method and action, right? So here you can just read out the detail and you get understanding, right?
Right.
And even good part, they have each and everything available here. So here, once this page loaded, and notice the this code I written
Now,
here.
now
uh,
this object is not a part of attributes. It's a part of theme leaf, right?
let's I'm going to say. Notice here I am written something division under form under have a method action here something t time dot action. So this is not the HTML syntax. This is the time implemented this concept. In this form input, I added some more attributes like a object, right?
Hmm.
So even the good option whenever this page loaded here, there is a no always plain basic HTML. If you want to look the source code here, right click and view source, right? This is the option view source code, right? Click here
Right.
and notice complete HTML forms of this login page. Like here we written here complete, same you can view on the here. Okay,
Oh, yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
notice here method have only post and action, nothing something like here. Notice no something like action and objects, right?
Right, right,
Thymeleaf, no Thymeleaf action and object. Notice this is a plain HTML. Finally, on browser don't know about the Thymeleaf object attribute field. Simple, they know plain text. This is the plain text here. Simple say input type, username type text, username and field. So this is ID and field, and this is the ID and password, two fields. So these are the complete HTML syntax. But here we have a use the because I want some dynamic value. Here I want to whatever the user pass this value, I want to perform something, right? So due to that, here they are saying whenever you submit button click by default, this section I'm going to the call. This is the HTML rule, right?
okay, okay.
Okay. So this is
When
due
we
to the
press
uh,
submit button,
uh,
that action
what
will happen.
happened. The due to that we are saying we have submit. You cannot say just like a button. This is one more option button. So this is
So
the
you,
just basic syntax of your form. Due to that, I am using the form. I want to perform some backend activities. This action must be go to the server side. Means this is the URL. By default, post means they are going to hit post URL this or get URL whatever. This is the your method and this is the URL.
hmm,
So whatever this is the actual code here that is run on the browser like this way. Here looking this a decent form and actually behind the code is this. And in that good option, almost all the browsers support you can view the source code here, right? Just click here. I want to view the source code right here.
right.
But whenever you are doing some application and security application, you can stop these as well as. Okay,
Sorry,
don't
what?
someone don't
When?
someone view this source code, right?
Oh, we can stop it.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so little bit maybe this is a complete my CSS file. Someone can look and copy my CSS style, right? Due to
Right,
that, so we are writing maybe in a separate file. Just mention the file name here. Those file name can maybe some content delivery, some different server, right? So lots of whenever you are going to build the actual application, enhancement come in the picture. But as of now, just understand how this CSS and HTML form works, right?
right,
That's good. And we tested key if I pass the admin as a success, admin, and this maybe success or failure, the fail page because I'm typing the incorrect password. Okay.
right.
And again, let's guess size the correct value, admin and admin. Okay. So we are getting the success page, right? So here we have performed two kind of operations, success and failure. And maybe I want to check my history, right? This is a new requirement. Hey, uh, developer, I need one history page. Ye- Which user have a login? Login success or failure? Tell me the status, right? Maybe and with times they log, right? So this audit, this history page I want, right? So today we are going to track the number of users login in my system, right? Currently, I cannot show any data which user maybe I log in with the test, right? Test and something. But I have logged 3 times, one for admin, one for again admin, one for test. But these informations in our application we are not storing somewhere. These are the lost because we are not using those informations to store somewhere, mean maybe database, maybe file system, right? So if
Right.
requirement
Right.
come, hey, I want one history page here. Just click on history and give me all the uh, username that's access my application and what was its status, success or failure, and even tell me the time on which times they log in. Are right?
Right.
So this is my use case. One use case we are going to implement. So all the web development your applications are going to build depend upon your use case, right? The yesterday we created our use case. We have to one login form. So we created. Now today we try to, hey, let's create one a history page for the all the users who access my application, right?
Right.
So what approach we are going to, whatever going to implement code, first decide how you're going to do, right? Whenever you
Okay.
receive any kind
So
of
we need to hold the time, login time in database also.
look like,
Mm.
yes, what do you think?
Yeah.
So our
Yeah.
requirement is as of now that our requirement say, hey, admin user login, test user login, ABC user login, something user login in my application. And that means they pass username and password. Finally, you say success or failure. So these
Right.
informations, one user somehow once you log, you are not storing this information anywhere. That means it's lost. Again, second user come and username, password, success or failure. You are displaying the screen, but you are not storing these information which is stored by the customer, right? So what we have to do, we have to think whatever the user information type here, and that go to our server for validation, right? If validation
Mm.
might be two cases, maybe positive, maybe negative. The both cases I am going to store his username, password, and success or failure status, maybe in my database, right? Maybe in my database. One installation, this is the username, this is the password, this is status, this is the time. And next time again user login, I'm going to say plus or minus, positive or negative, and simultaneously return the page, success or failure. And at the same time, you can do store in my database, one more entry, one more entry, one more entry, one more entry. So that in this way, what we can say, whatever the users are accessing your application, you are tracking them, right?
I see. So we're gonna track failure also.
We can failure visualize. I know that this person is trying to access my application 10 times. That means maybe this is a suspicious user. That means this is a false user. They don't have a password, right?
Right.
This is some kind of a security application we are built. Maybe some user from particular AIP are trying to access my application. One password failure, two password failure, three password failure. Means surely these are the not intended person, right? If the right person, they know the password. One or two attempt is good. The many applications we have restricted. Hey, you can attempt only three failed password, not more than three of a day, right? So we're not going to detail about the most about the security parameter, but yeah, later part you have to consider. We have to think, right?
Right.
But as of now, our basic requirement is just I want to know all the username which log in my systems and what was the status they log in successfully or failure, and even I want to know the times which times they try my access application, right?
Right.
Okay, so this is the requirement and let's think how to implement that. Means the approach is that surely we have to going to use some database, right? Some store information in database, right?
We need
So
to
that,
change in the model, like
yeah, might be currently our model have only username and password. I need the status as well as I need times as well as, right?
time. Yeah.
So one thing, surely we are going to change our model and we are going to introduce the database concept. Hey, this information is stored in the database, right?
Yeah.
So let's do. So we already know while our microservice development, how we can use the MySQL database or S2 database, any database, right? And let's do it, right?
Yeah.
Uh, Good. So let's
Perfect. Yeah. That's
here
good.
we are going to introduce first one database in our application, MySQL. Let's see example MySQL, and after that, whenever user access my application, I am going to store these informations in my database. First thing, this is the objective of the day, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Let's go. So as usual, whenever you are going to start, let's Spring.io and figure out the dependency, because we need a Spring Data JPA, right, to store information, and we need a database. Okay, so we say simply uh, start dot start.io dot spring and go simply uh, add this is the my Maven project, and let's say I need a JPA dependency. Okay, JPA
JPA, right.
dependency,
Okay. Mhm.
and I also need MySQL. Okay,
MySQL. Okay. Okay.
okay, MySQL driver. And let's do the Lombok as well as certificate, right? Already we cover all this in the our Spring Boot tutorial, right?
Yes. Yes. We
Lombok
all
just
cover.
help us to certificate. Don't write a too long certificate, right?
Right.
So notice in this our form we have written our Java code. Yeah, in this we have written lots of certificate, right? Big here. So this we can
Yeah.
avoid it, right?
Yeah. We can avoid.
So here I'm not going to download complete application, fresh application, because already we have application, right? Already we have a application. I'm not going to build the new fresh application. But here just we need to add more POM dependency, right?
Yeah. We need to get the dependency from
Yeah.
there.
So here, good option. Here you don't need a download. Just say I want to explore the dependency here. Click the explore button here, and here they explore and give me the complete POM XML, right?
Okay. Okay.
Right. And here no, they added Lombok, right? And they added only Lombok. Where the string data? Okay, they added the Lombok. They added the MySQL. They added the Spring Data JPA. Right. So this dependency they added what we want. Right. So let's I just copy this dependency. Right. Three dependency. Right. Good. And go to the our application pom.xml here, and okay, say hey, can you update this? Dependency. Currently, we have only web dependency and
Yeah.
Thymeleaf, right? Two dependency.
Yes.
Because currently we have, in when we started this application, we selected the Spring Web and also Thymeleaf, right? So let's
Right.
add more dependency here. I added, right? I added this dependency MySQL, Lombok, and Spring Data JPA. Why need Data JPA? Because they have give easily method to save, update, delete, right?
Right.
And once you update this dependency, please update your Maven project, right? So that our IntelliJ identify, hey, you are going to use these three more jars. So whenever in your any application you are going to introduce some database concept, we have to need some Spring Data JPA and database name, which database we are going to connect, right? And also uh, we have to check your database run MySQL running or not, right? We have to install the MySQL, right? Let I check MySQL my running or not. Yes, MySQL my running. Okay, that's good part. And this is done. So one part we done, database setup is done. And notice whenever you are going to do database setup, we have to tell our application, hey, application, you need to connect my this database. Where database is installed? What is the URL? What is the username and password of the database, right? So
Right.
you notice already we did multiple times in our uh, website. Already we have covered multiple times. Let's copy the our MySQL configuration, right?
Yeah.
MySQL configuration somehow in the last couple of classes I added. Yeah, MySQL database configuration, right? And this configuration we have to add in our application property file, right? Your database name, your username and password, your driver, right? So
Yeah.
let's copy and paste in application property file, right? And my application property file, I'm going to add this thing, right?
Right.
So that now and notice this is the database name test database. Let's create the database as well, right?
Right.
So already here I created the syntax how to create and drop database. Let's see, I use this command and go to the my MySQL terminal and just run here, drop database, and let's create database. Okay, just to ensure that you have a created database, and you ensure that key your database created, your already user already same user I'm going to use, and just grant the permission to him, right? All the permission. So these things basic we have to do means create one database and user and password, and uh, and in application property file you can mention this detail, right? So these are basic configuration for your database. Now your application aware, hey, I have to connect this MySQL database which installed on the local host. Maybe this
Right.
database can in the remote. You can just change the IP address, right? So now this database configuration done, and now let's start the coding, right? So whenever we are developing any application, we have to decide our database model, right? So let's keep this is the login. The same thing I'm going to store, right? So here currently
Right.
have a username and password. Let's say I'm going to delete this certificate, right? Because we are using the Lombok, so they automatically generate, right?
Right. We don't need it. Yeah.
Yeah. So here I'm saying, hey, this is my model. Here I'm going to introduce whenever generally Spring MVC application each information you are going to store in your database must have an ID column, right? So that we can track. So you have to say, hey, private long ID field, right?
Log ID. Yeah.
And username and password. And let's one more string status, right?
Status. Yeah.
Status. Our login success or failure. Maybe on time, okay?
On time. Uh,
Generally
Login time.
times
Yeah.
generally times we are not using the data types, we are using the Java 8 API instance, right? Instance. Instance. Okay, instant Java time API. Instant means key instance the data type. Okay. Let's time. Okay. So this we have introduced this, and if you are using the not Lombok, that means we have to go to getter method, setter method, all argument construct, everything. But first things, how our we already know if this is the model, I want to say it's saved in a database, so we have to inform our Spring Boot. So how to inform? Hey, say, hey, this is the entity, right? Entity annotation say now Spring know, okay, this is the model that can go store in the database, right? And this is the primary key ID, right? It's the
Right.
ID, and this is the let's generate automatic ID value, right?
Right.
So we did lots of things in the our Spring Boot classes, right? So I'm not going
Right.
to more detail.
Right. Right.
And
Yeah.
also need maybe just mention notice we have a option. You can no our constructor, all our constructor, setter, getter manually
Or
are
we
used
can use
simply data.
data. Data.
Data, yeah, that's simple. Aware, that's great. Okay, so you are here just Lombok make our code simple, readable. But that's clear. So this
Right.
is our
Yeah.
database. So what we did till now we have say we have prepared our database means MySQL database and created the tables and username, right, and password each everything. And also now we created our Java model. This is the model, and here say this model have a ID, username, password, status, time, everything, right? And also inform, hey Spring, please consider this is the database entity, right? Till now our we have to also inspire, hey Spring, you have to know we have to save this information into the database. For writing insert query, update query, delete query, we are not going to write query. I'm just let Spring framework help us. So we are going to use Spring Data JPA. That means we have to create one repository, right?
Right.
Say interface, let's log in the repository, login repo, right?
Extend.
And
Extend.
extend. We are good. Extend JP
JPA
JPA
repository.
repository. And here mention ki, hey JPA, you know this is the login table and primary key the long, right? So
Yeah.
now this line help us our Spring Boot application. Now you can call, add, update, delete all the method which JPA provide. Here JPA interface they provide all the method for you. Like here, you can find all, add, delete, everything, right? We
Right.
already covered it. So now this done. And now we have JPA. Here I have a method save git, and this is my controller. So this controller class need the object of JPA. So we can here inject them. Here say, hey, private final repository, and let's create one repo object. Okay, and by default this can be injected. We are going to not use the some annotation, but we say, hey, use the constructor initialization. You can initialize from the constructor, right? So this is written, right? So
Or
till
we
now,
can do auto wire.
auto wire also you can do. That's good way. Generally, I prefer the constructor because in the way we are doing lots of coding. Okay, but you can do auto wiring as well. Great.
Okay.
So now our controller have a one repository object, and now here have a same method delete method give. So notice whenever I now come application, whenever I am typing a submit button, and in submit button I say whenever you are typing the submit button, you are going to which URL? Validate and login. This in this code we have to go. So here we have already created. This is my get mapping and this is my post mapping. Validate login. So here our control come. Here we are validating login success or failure. So here success failure. After that we have to save this login information because this information already have the complete detail. Let's okay. So here I am going to say hey repository, hey repository, hey repo, can you save my object in the database? And this is the login information, right? Here, done, right? This thing we have to done just means ki we have validate username password success or failure and save in the database. Okay, but currently notice our code is not compiled because here we return from here. Here we return. Here code cannot come. That means our return should be in the last here something, right? After that, once save database, then return from here, right? So it should be removed here. It should be removed here. And say, okay, let's create one a string uh, return page. Return page. Which page I'm going to return, right? And here say if this is the success, then the success page. If it is a failure, then the failure page, right?
Right.
And you are returning this page. So whenever you are doing something, means ki here I'm not going to return the code because I want to save them, right? Before save, I have to set ki this is success or failure. So if in the case our code goes here, we have say hey login, we have a method that set status, right? Say success, okay? And if it is a failure case, then say hey save a fail, right? It's clear? Means ki our login object have a username, has a password. Now I set the status as well as depend upon which condition true, right? Any confusion till now?
Uh, okay. So we set status.
Uh,
Also, the login ID is automatic, right? Uh,
Automatic ID generated, there will no any problem, right?
so we had status, ID, and username.
And time also needed. So let's keep before save. I know the what the time, right? So here login dot set time as well, right? We need to set a time as well, right? Time.
Yeah, 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 time.
And
Yeah,
instance dot now is our time, right?
yeah. Instant dot now.
Now the current time I am saved. So this is the change we did. What we did? We set up database, we set up our model, and we create our repository. And while validation, I say if success, then change the status success or failure, and also save in the database. It's okay. Let's run and
Mm,
test, right?
sure. Yeah.
Hope it should works, or some maybe failure, maybe error. We have to look, right?
Yeah.
Because we cannot say this code is work until it's not work. Maybe fail, maybe compiler is not happy, not found JPA, not found database, username, password fail, anything, right? Hope it should not failing any kind of exception.
Is it gonna capture username?
Yes, each and everything.
Hmm.
Okay, notice here. I'll notice good part. They have our have started and they have created some table, like login table. This means our database successfully accessible, right? Created table login, right? Good.
Yeah.
That means our application is started. Great. So notice already we know ki why our Spring Boot application create database and everything because we have mentioned here entity, and whenever you say save database here, you say like we are save the save before they are going to create the table for you and then save data, right?
Okay, okay,
Each
okay.
and
Right, right.
everything, and here save also implement the insert query for you and they do everything, right? Okay, good. So let's open my application uh, here. So look like no response. It's okay. And let's check the success. Okay. Say admin. Okay. Admin. I am writing the correct password and save. So information save, right? And let's check
Right.
is there any exception server side or not. So notice they are called the login form, then validate form. Notice uh, uh, notice login name, username admin, password admin, status null. These are all the null. And but whenever going to the save, after that they return your insert SQL. Notice insert SQL, insert SQL passwords, each and everything they return. Let's check the database because we have not created any page to view, right? So
Right.
go to the database and what is my database name? Let me check application property. Uh,
Test DB.
test DB, test DB, and we have to say use test DB. So table, and this is login table. Select star from login. S- Okay, so now this is information created. Notice here this is your username admin, password admin, and you notice is really need and success and failure and everything, right?
Right, right,
And let's try one failure case. Okay, I'm again try and write the test 1 2 3 4, right? And password again fail, and go to the check database here. Oh, sorry. So no two entry accessible. Means ki now our applications, whatever you do in your internally, they are maintaining your track. Number of try, failure, success, right?
right,
ABCD, ABCD one. Okay. Here look like, but internally application doing multiple things. You just try means you don't many times you're going to accessing application internally how application they build they are tracking to you, right? Okay.
right,
1 2 3 4 test all the things. Notice each number of time you try success or failure, our application track this information in the table, right? And even the
right,
times in the success or failure, right? Okay. Admin. Okay. So this is success. So this is the till now we can verify from database. Let's next requirement. I want key once login success. Here must be one link. I want to view all the transaction history in the page here, right?
I want to see the login history on the
He
page.
here page somewhere. Not the, I'm not going. Even any admin not going to look
It
the
would be a
database,
get,
right?
it would be a get request.
Yeah, something. Yeah. So we
Right,
have to think first. First, your use case completed. We are able to track all the username and password which a customer tried to access my application in my database, right?
right,
Next, our use case is that hey, I admin, I login admin, I want to know all the history of my login page, right? So once successful, I want to maybe some link here, something page. Hey, here I want to all the history page something, right? Maybe on the success page or new page, whatever, right?
right,
Maybe good option here should be some link. Hey, all the transaction history here, right? Something.
right. It makes sense.
Instead, makes sense. Maybe I want. So how will do? How can do? So let's say, as of now, simple. In the same page here, in the this is the one box. for the your success, and one box would be here something new box. So all the history, right? As of now. Good. So clear the what the next use case we are going to implement. We are
Uh,
going to,
so
yeah,
we're gonna create a link that says history,
yeah,
and when we click, it will show the history, login history,
yes, good. So this is our, okay, which page? This is the success page. So let's
success page.
go. Let's now go here and remove all the and this is the login success here. Here I'm going to leave. I'm not going to allow failure customer or can view this page, right? The here success page. This is one link. Go to the login. Maybe one further link. Maybe history page, right? Maybe one more link here. You can say, hey, maybe one more link here. Okay, just similarly copy paste. No, one link here. Say uh, login history, right?
Yeah,
Okay, login history. Now, whenever click on login history, where this go? Means ki they hit some because login history is stored in the database, right? That means ki whenever uh, let's restart application. Okay, okay. So let's understand the concept. Here, someone click on this button. Okay, click on here. That means if from the UI you click history button, right? History link. Then this request go to the server, right? And in the server we have a some URL where this going to hit, right? And here I'm going to fetch. Hey, I'm asked the our JPA give me the all the history, right? And you return in the page, maybe some new page, maybe history page, right? And we show the detail, right? Here we are going to make the link, and after click I'm going to one our controller, I'm going to click one URL to take care the history request, right? Here say I'm going to say slash login history, right? Login slash history, right?
right,
History. Here we have to develop this endpoint, right? First, because after clicking, you say, okay, hey, I cannot find login history URL, right?
right. We need to create in
If
what's
if you
HTML
restart
page.
up, if you restart application and say still not started, not started. Sometimes server startup take time. Oh, so time. Yeah, started. Okay, and here say login admin admin. Okay, and now here one more link, right? So we have option you can give here link or here link. That's the, your design. Okay, where you want, right? Here I just written it down. So down you can say here you want to in parallel. You are here, whatever place you can do the alignment, right? So here if you
Right.
click time here, you notice this page. You can where is the yeah inspect control. So notice here this is the one link from login. This is the login page. But whenever I click, that means ki our application must need to cater this request slash login slash history. And currently, if you hit, I am getting something problem because there is no such application, right? This is something problem, right? Error page. Why? Because we are not developed such a mapping, right?
Yeah.
So let's do.
Endpoint.
Yeah, endpoints are yeah. So go to the our controller. Hey controller, can you develop some here? Hey controller, I want to uh, develop some endpoint that's URL must be like this, right?
Right.
And this would be the get because we want to get data, right? So
Right.
hey, this is the get mapping, and say simply login history, right? Okay, login history.
Correct.
And here, whenever click history and say login history call, and after that, I want to display data in the new page, maybe history page. Create one history page, right? And your his login history page. Login history page. Okay, a simple page, right? So here, before going to this page, we have to figure out the data, right? Which data I want, right? So here already have a repository here, and say here repository get me all find all, right?
Find all.
They return the all the history, right?
Right.
All logins we have, and this logins we have to save. Hey, this logins need to on the this page. On which page? This page. So whenever we are going to this page, this data we have to get, and we have to draw some output, right? So it's clear what I'm doing. Whenever user click this, I am going to call your something. So whenever I call this endpoint, we come on the from the UI, from first URL UI. UI say click history, go to the server controller, and controller can say, hey, repository, give me all data. Hey, repository, give me from database all data. Now we have all data. Now I want to go to the new page, history page, and history page. This data we have to set to the history page, go to the history page. So we can say, hey model, can you set this login? So that whenever this new page come, here I want to display all the information, right? So this is the new page we are going to develop, right?
Right.
So in the news page, we have this information available, all logins. All you say here should be all logins. All logins
But
should be.
before you had login in a bracket, like an object, like a
Now you
uh,
have to give this new data, not this data, right?
right, right, okay,
Now I want to give all the data, not a blank data, right? Here we no object, no, because you have no data, right? Here till now, because I'm not responsive to give the new data, right? Here our objective, we have to return all the logins data, right?
so and the left hand side is the key, is a
Yes,
key
yes,
value
key,
pair.
yes, key value. So whenever you want to get this all the value in this page, you have to, this is the key and this is the value. Okay.
Okay, okay.
You can say get uh, all admin all logins by key. Okay, good, clear, right? So this is the key I'm set. If I'm using this word, I'm getting this object by default on this page,
Right.
right? So let's create this page as well, right? So go to the page and let's create one more page. This dot html, right? So as of now, let's blank. Let's check work or not. Just blank one, right? This is a dummy. So let's I start. Then this dummy page must be created instead of error. Currently we are doing error, right? And let's a good option. Whenever you go to the controller, I write the data as well as okay. So in the logger, right? So all logins. Okay. What the logins we are have, so that we can same going to display here, right? Just for logging purpose. Restart. So in now we develop one more URL slash login history. Here we are just going to hey find all, and notice here we cannot read in the Spring Boot we return this complete, right? Here no notice, but here we are returning the page, right? So we are returning page, and in this page how someone access this value. We can say hey model, can you set this so that I can access on this page?
But
And
we need a theme leaf to get all the
ah
data in the website.
yeah, yes, we have to go to right. Currently our page is blank, something this value come only, right?
Right.
So if I'm say here admin, and here's his click here, notice the at least we're not getting failure, we are getting right page, right?
Correct. Yeah.
And here something notice in the background, we are returning all admin. This is the one admin. All the admins are here, right here. All admin two. So now
Yeah.
we
All
have
the
all
right.
data have in the backend, but we have to draw the output here. So again, we have to take the help of Thymeleaf. Hey, how you can iterate all the value, right? Let's. I know, but let's see how you explore. Let's Google. Okay, best option. Say hey, uh, uh Thymeleaf, iterate the list of item, right? Iterate the list, right? So they give the syntax. Any syntax you can use, right? Any
Okay.
basic.
Okay. So we don't have to go to the Spring Boot website. It's just on Google. And
Thymeleaf will go. So here, this is the way you can iterate. Okay, this is the way. Simple code, right? So this is a simple code I am just writing here. Okay. So I want this should be in tabular format, right? So notice
mm,
first they understand what is the th. They are not understanding something. That means we have to take the basic form like this need required, right? This is the required. So here just I am copying in this history page. First, because if until you are not writing this line, you are not getting anything, right? So good
okay.
option.
Okay.
Always we have to write this line so that you can access. Maybe you can use the any existing maybe form, maybe login form. You can use any top data here. This line is required, right? Top. So let's say I'm using the same. Okay. You can use anyone for reference purpose, right?
Right. Right.
So here, surely I am. This is the basic heading CSS style, and here instead of say ki history page, right? Say hey, this is the history page, right? History page, and I don't need a form, I don't need anything, right? I, now here this is the code shared by this website. Say ki how to iterate. This is the way we can iterate all the value, right? Just
Right.
here say,
Right.
and here say. So notice here say here the list of value like for each. This is the for each and get one by one value. This is the for each syntax in the Java we are doing. Similarly here each, here give the list. Notice in the Java we are doing the for each, right? Same thing here. So notice
Mm,
now our this is the value we can receive. This is the value, all value. I can say, hey login page, you can receive this value, and here you can receive one login object. Login. So maybe I just give you the one idea in the code Java. Generally, uh, maybe here I'm just explain for each. Let's give we have a list of here. Let's give want to iterate all here. How to do? So here you can say for each. Notice for and here say ki this is the all admins, right? And here say maybe login log, okay, this way login, and here say out for output s out login dot let's username and login dot you can say password, right? Status, whatever you want, right? In Java we are writing this way, right? And the
right.
time, the same thing Thymeleaf also do for you. Just by giving the flavor. This is the what they say login. Okay, syntax. Okay, syntax is so. In this way, you can say this is the username, this is a password, status. Okay, so whatever you writing this code, same code we are writing here, just little bit differences. Okay.
We don't need that then.
So just I'm trying to explain. Here I'm just explaining how Thymeleaf internally do for you. They run this for loop and each and every field they cannot call. Here we have to go in this theme. If I say कि this is the all my object, get one object. Here notice in the for loop say कि this is the one object I'm getting, right? This is the one list content here. Here. Here list contain all means you are getting first one and getting printing all value. Fill next until you are not going to the all, right? The similarly here we are also doing. Here Thymeleaf say this is the for each look like a for loop, right? Each means for loop here. And one row, a two row means multiple row. You want to make a table. So here say hey, I want to one table for it, right? You should one table. And here say, hey, this is the one loop and this is login. And this login object here, login object here say I need a ID. Okay, I need a username. Username would be like this way. Username variable here, username. This variable. You can say this is the this variable. And I want to one more field, maybe status. So here say this is the my status. I don't want to show password, right? I don't want to show the password and more. Let's get time, right? And this is the time. So notice this is the syntax of the Thymeleaf to loop data, right? Here you are for each loop and you are getting one object and on a one object ID, username, status, password. Again the next. This is going to the multiple row, right?
Hmm.
So let's restart. So this is syntax we have to learn from the good option. You can either Google or simply say, hey, I need the Thymeleaf documentation. Okay,
Right.
always Thymeleaf documentation basically. Documentation. You can just search. Okay, they give complete detail how to. This is the documentation. Just read. They have given each and everything. Best way, easy
What
way.
is
What
time? Ajay bhai, what is time list or documentation?
this just the syntax. How to know how to write this syntax, right?
Okay, okay.
It's not Java code, right? No, this is the Thymeleaf.
Achha.
So due to that, now let's go to this our application and just hit the request. Server not started.
Time list, that is time leaf or time list? Ajay bhai?
Leaf. So
Oh,
notice here,
time leaf.
here you are
Okay,
getting value, right?
okay.
So here look like value is okay, but I want here more some CSS. Here I want to some row column, right? It would be good, right?
Hmm.
So notice
Right.
I'm able to see all the detail here, but decent output is not look like, right? So here I want at least whatever this table have a some border, right? So let's search this Google. Hey, I need the table border, right?
Right,
Here
right.
our CSS required to look the data. Say, hey, time leave need a border, table border. Okay, something border, right? I need a border something, right? Border. Just search here and this is the border syntax and just read out and use the border. Here, this is the border look like. So here say just use this line syntax. I can just copy and just say, hey, this is my already CSS. Here say need this border. Okay, okay.
Oh, this is a CSS
uh, Style. Okay, style sheet under the hey for table you apply this border, right?
style.
So this is the table tags and this apply for their table THTD. Yeah,
Hmm.
THTD. Both are. TR means row, TD means column.
Column, yeah.
So let's again restart. Most probably it should start it. Why my awareness is me?
Hmm.
Okay, let's restart. Notice look like decent.
Right.
So this is the way. Let's go to the my here and say let's something failure, right? Some failure
Mhm.
path. Again, try some more failure. Okay,
Mhm.
and let's try some success. Okay, admin, admin, and click here. Now we have a both option, this and this. Hey, look at history. Now this is the history page, right?
Mhm.
So here there are some admin success at this time, this failure, this failure, this failure, this failure, this is a time. So these are the historical data you can manage.
It's true.
Till now, any confusion? Here we
Uh,
have developed.
yeah, yeah. I have one question.
Yes.
Uh, can you go to the yeah, over here, the first line? No, no, this one. Login each
Uh,
login. What does that line mean?
uh, just I explain. This is the
That
look
is it.
syntax like here for this is the syntax I explain here. This is the code I am written Java. You understand? This is the list, and this is the one object from this.
Hmm.
For each. I already explained this is a list of 10 object. So this is the first object. And first object
Mhm.
all the value. So next loop, second object. Second in look the
Mhm.
output here. You can notice here all the output. This is the loop for object, right? The
Right.
similarly same thing here. This is the Java syntax. So we are not writing Java syntax in the HTML page. The HTML page say, hey, this is the for loop and this is the all the value. How know this is all value? Because in controller, whenever you return all this value, you set in this key, right? This is the key, all
Mhm.
the value, right?
Right.
So
Right.
this is the
Okay.
key I am set here. So I'm say, hey, this key available on this your page. This is the login page. In this page, I'm able to this key. This key means ki all the login details. So I'm not
Mhm.
going to print all the login details once. I say ki get one, first one, and first one, what is the ID, username, is status time. Done, right? So this
Mhm.
means this is the one row you completed, one row, right? One row
That's right.
completed. Now again loop say because they say I already have another object. The second object come. The second
Mhm.
ID, name, user details. Right? This is the second row printed. Right? Now they
Mhm.
have a third row. In this way, this is the list of all logins history and this one object. One by one, we are getting the I because we need the ID, name, username, status. So we need the first object. Notice here, I want to in Java code here say ki we need the this object, so we can call the getter method. Getter method, username, password, status, right? Similarly, in the Thymeleaf, we need this object to get ID field, username, log, something. This is the one object from this list. The list is the list of 10. So this is the first item, then second item, then third item, then fourth
Oh,
item.
got it. Got it. But we need to run the loop on the both side.
No, this is for your just your information. This is not needed.
Okay. Okay.
This is just for your information ki how we are doing for each in a Java. Similarly, we have to do in our Thymeleaf the HTML side as well as restart. This
Okay.
is not
But the
needed.
loop is actually working on the HTML side.
Yes.
Mm.
So this is Java code. Java code simply say, hey, this is the request come whenever you log in this request. Whenever say this
Mhm.
request, I
Mhm.
say this request, and I'm simply say, hey, repository, give me the all, and this all value because he this return the page. In this page, you can get all values, right?
Mhm.
So here say this is the history
Oh,
page,
okay. Yeah.
and no, you are getting the data here, and in the server side, notice there is no any output because you're not writing the forest, right? Even
Right.
in
Right.
one option, you can say just size, the number of your size, size. Just no, don't print all the data in the our code base, right?
Mhm.
And the rest.
Right.
So in the server side, you don't it because server side you already know ki this. I know ki this find all return all the repository from database. But problem is that this is the server side code, server side object. I want to transfer to the HTML side. So we cannot return here like this. In the case of your Spring Boot, we directly return this object, right? And this JSON we get the value. But here we have a page, right? Here in this page, I want this value, right? This all the value. Okay, so in this page, you cannot directly say the Java object, but you can set in the model, in model key and value. You can use this key and you can get this value. So in this page, I am saying, hey, this is the key, means they return the all the history detail, right? And one by one, I am going to display here. So this is the table. This is the one tabular format. This is the output in the complete table row column, and this is the one row tr. Tr means one row. A td means one column. This is the one column, two column. The here say this is the, maybe you can say header comes in. This is the one concept of table t header. 1 minute. You can just mention here the header as well, right? 1 minute. Google table header. Somehow this is the table syntax. Yes, this is the one option. th. Th means header. You can run write this code. Okay. I want one more row here. That this is the ID.
Yeah.
This is the username. This is the status, and this is the time.
Status twice.
Okay.
Mhm.
This time. This is status. This is username. Okay. So this is the, I am only one tr, means ki one header I want, and this row is a for loop, right? I don't want
Mhm.
header multiple there. So here I want in our application, here I want one more header. What it is? 1, 2, 3, right? What it is? What it is? And let's restart. You can in the table have a concept of header and in case of value. Like in the Excel, when one header row and all the value row, right?
Right.
And let's test. Notice here ID, username, status, and time. Right? It's clear. Look like this. And so these things you don't want to loop. So you have to notice I have written this is the outside of my loop, right? And this come under the loop, right? The each means here understand loop for each. It is clear. And
Yes.
even you can look the complete code here, how this generated Thymeleaf. Let's look the code. They are generated this way. Notice this is your tr and this is the actual value. One another row. In this way, HTML code generated. Notice all the value generated.
Mhm.
So actually, whatever you written here in this code internally generated in the HTML format at a runtime, right? Whenever this application going to, that means what I'm trying to say. Whatever the Thymeleaf code run not on the browser, run on the Java side, JVM server side. So please note that whenever you say ki, this load page, the internally on server side, they this complete page generated by Thymeleaf like this way, and this is the response returned to the server or UI. So anything, any Java code is not run on the browser. So this code is run by on the server side.
Right.
Okay, and the browser just this complete plain output come. This is the complete value. Notice all the value you are getting, right? You're not
Right.
getting
Yes.
something each dot id dot name, nothing, right? Because this code is run inside your server. Please be understand, right?
Mhm.
Because this controller controller have a this object, and whenever you find all, you pass this. This is the HTML page. They are going to here. This is not HTML. They are going to build HTML page. Our Spring MVC internally going to look your this code, and they are building one HTML page using this concept. Means this code is internally run on the JVM server side, and they build a, a page like this. This page is response go to the browser. This page, this is the content, and finally, whenever you run this code, whenever this run by default, this output come right. Whenever you can copy this copy page and just open the notepad, okay, and paste here data. This is your complete data, and you save them anywhere, maybe desktop, and save like a test HTML, okay, dot HTML, right? So this is a complete HTML page, and you can test HTML. Where did you go? Some different places. I place save as desktop. One dot HTML. This is one dot HTML, and you can open in this your browser or anywhere. The same data you can display. Notice here. So this is actually our server return response like this content complete, not return like look like this page. For how? Because this code is internally our time library implemented and return make this your HTML complete this way. It's clear?
Yeah.
Good. So for today, till now, any question, any doubt, what we did?
Yeah, I'm clear. No, no.
So here we have covered very basics of our application, how your web application interact to the database, right? How save data to the database, and also we have learned how our web application receive data from database, right, and display the decent format, right?
Yeah.
So let's do practice. This is a very important concept, and if you understand these the basic, you can build application as per your different use cases, right?
Right. So you just build on it.
Now just you think the different use case scenario and develop the pages, right? What you want to click on here, what happened the next, what happened the next, what happened the next, okay. Maybe good option, we can build one employee management system. Hey, I want to one form, create the employee name, detail, password, something, and save in the database, right? Maybe you want to get all the employee, maybe you want to update employee, delete employee, all the operation you can do from here. Let's say I want to check box, hey, delete this data, right? When you're looking any web application, these are the operations you can do. So all the things you can play here. So
Maybe when I practice, I will add, maybe I will add a checkbox. When I check and
uh,
hit delete, it might delete.
yes, that is a good option. Here should be maybe a checkbox. Here some delete button, right? Just
But
checkbox and delete them,
but
right?
but in that
Let's
case,
try. We
that
can. Why not? Right?
Mhm.
So
but
now think
but
whatever the
in
web application look and you have seen in the mobile application, web application, those UI you can build here. And finally,
Mhm.
UI needs some backend API. You can develop the backend API and build the response. So today what we did? Today we developed just one backend API, right?
Right.
Just develop one backend API for history, right? To getting all the data from database. And now also develop one page, how the response look like. In the micro service, micro all the REST API we learn, we are only focusing on this part, how we can save data and get data. We are not focusing how to build the responses, right? Now here in the web application, we have to think how to build the response as well. I want to build the response like tabular format, right? That this additional things we have to do in this web application. Web application, you have to take care all the backend operation, even all the front end operation. How your response look like would be.
Mm.
Is it clear?
It's clear.
So good option. Next, maybe a good option. Let's here maybe next you can explore. Here you say ki, I need one checkbox, right?
Yeah.
Check, and I want to some delete button. Let's say I want to some data I want to delete from here, right? Maybe not the history page. History always history is don't delete history because you need to track in the future. Maybe you can develop a fresh page. Maybe employee or a student, right? Employee, and employee have a name, age, address, ID, and you can create 10 employee, right? And once 10 employee created, you can list all the employees. Maybe you want to delete some, maybe you want to update them, right? You can do operation.
Yeah.
Will do.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Slowly, we have to move to the next. Till now, we have understood how our web application connect to the database. Today we have learned MySQL database. So for connecting database, Spring Boot have a simple, very easy way. Just add the application property for this configuration, and now create the database. And then we created a model. We created our model here, login model, using the long box and entity annotation. And after that, you can save and get all the operations. And one more thing we did, we created a repository. If from this object, you can all the operations like get, delete, update, everything. So today, the one so clear what we cover. Any confusion, any question, please ask.
I'm good.
Because
I'm
we
good, sir.
repeat multiple time. Why? Because these are the very basic things. This basic clear can develop complete application by yourself.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Right?
Yeah.
Good.
I cannot hear you.
I'm able. I'm able.
Yeah, now it's okay.
Now I can hear.
I think there was a lagging sound.
Good. So I'm just asking any confusion questions you have for the day.
I'm good so far.
So let's do practice. And I'm thinking next we have to just build some employee something. Create employee, employee, delete employee, get all employee on the what web application, right?
Mhm.
Right.
And that will complete the implementation part, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's for the
Thank you, Ajay.
thank you.
See you tomorrow.